Well, good afternoon, everybody. In comes the music, and away we go. So, good afternoon to yet another working lunch session. Today, I'm going to cover some stuff personally. I've got Alan Clark with me as well, which is great. I know we're out on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube currently. So, those of you that are watching, if you want to make some comments, simply comment in the usual place, and I will pick up on it here on the box. Other than that, we're getting close to Christmas, aren't we, Alan?
Yes, it's
Scary.
yes, very
Definitely
scary. And
scary.
everywhere you go, there's Father Blooming Christmas, isn't there?
I know. Yes, yeah, we were writing a Christmas list last night, Annie and I, and yeah, we still got some work to do. That's down to me, I suppose, at the end of the day. But yeah. So what I thought I'd do today is the last one of the year, and we are running a similar format in the new year, but it's the last one of the format that we've run for 2023, which we ran in two different ways, and Working Lunch seems to go well, so we're going to carry on doing it, albeit slightly revised form, which I'll tell everybody about at the end of this. But I thought, first of all, we'll do our usual thing. We'll run for about 25 minutes or so, I guess. And then Alan and I'll have a chat afterwards, and which will be great. But I'll share just some thoughts about 2024. And they're just my personal thoughts, if you like, on what I think perhaps you could be thinking about. Because I think 2024, many people say it'll be a seminal year, but I think they say that every year, don't they, Alan?
Oh, yeah.
But I do think for a lot of people, there's a lot to be had from 2024. So I'm going to put this presentation onto there in this way. I found it interesting, actually, when I was putting this PowerPoint together. And anybody who uses PowerPoint knows you can always press the right-hand button and it comes up with pictures you may or may not use. And I typed in 5 things for 2024, and interestingly, it came up with this slide, which is obviously an aerial view of a load of houses. And it actually resonated with me, because at first I thought, what the hell is that supposed to be? How is that supposed to fit in with what I'm talking about? Well, actually, it does. I don't know that PowerPoint was thinking this way, but it was for my thought process, which is, I think an awful lot of people in 2023 have realized that there are an awful lot of people doing exactly the same thing. There are a lot of people doing exactly the same thing. They're providing the same businesses. They're providing the same type of business. They look similar. They sound similar. And in many ways, it's a bit like this slide. There's a lot of boxes there. The old song from 30, 40 years ago, little boxes on a hillside. And that's exactly what it is in business in 2024 for many people. It's about how to differentiate yourself in the marketplace. And we've covered that quite a lot during 23. And I'll definitely cover that in 24 in a whole bunch of stuff that we're going to be doing. But for now, I think one of the things that we'll definitely be doing is looking at the key areas that I think that are necessary for you to take a business forward. Now, this applies whether you run your own business, you're employed, you're part of a larger organization. I think it still makes exactly the same thought process. You might tweak it to suit the situation, but I think these things hold true. So I'm just going to very briefly, at least, share what I've got on these several slides for you to think about. And the first one, I think, is to have clarity. To have clarity. Nice picture, that. Sorry, Alan, it's not of mountains. It's actually of a beach, but there's hills in the background. So there you go. Clarity in 2024 is key, I think. I was having a conversation with my wife, Annie, about things yesterday, actually. And I'm personally changing a whole bunch of stuff that I'm doing. And one of the important things is to get a consistent message across. And Annie was actually saying, you're going to have to be careful you get this consistent message across. Otherwise, it might look like it's several different things. It's not. It's all connected. And, we'll launch it all in January and you'll all see that. But it's good to talk about that. So having clarity of what it is you're trying to achieve, both personally and professionally, I think is always hyper important. But I think more than ever in 2024, with all the distractions that are going on in the big wide world, and there are always a lot. It doesn't matter if you listen to lyrics from songs from 20 years ago, 40 years ago, probably 80 years ago, you will actually hear people saying about similar stuff over and over again. It's just a different decade. The people that win are the ones that've got clarity. It's the ones that have got clarity, they've got a fighting chance of winning. Everything aligns when you have clarity. You just stick at it and keep going at it. And I think that is hyper informant. So my question to you is, do you have clarity going into 2024? Or is it just a case of, oh my God, let's just get to Christmas and let's see what happens in January? No, I don't blame you for that. And the many people would say, oh, well, it's January is the same as any other month. It's not. It's not. Many people decide over Christmas and New Year exactly what they want to do, and they go for it. Now, some of those people stick at it, and a lot of people don't. The ones that stick at it usually win. That's my experience. So, have you got clarity about you, your business, what you're trying to achieve, where you're trying to get to? That's the first one. The next one is work with good people. Work with good people. Many people in the family business practice hear me talk about this over and over again about working. Don't work with. I have a phrase which is "Don't work with knobs," and because they waste your life, they don't pay you, and they don't pay you what you're worth, and they'll argue a bill. Work with good people. Right this minute, I'm having a lot of changes with websites, marketing stuff, all sorts of things. Photographs. Got one thing in common: they're all good people. They're all good people. I know them, I like them, I trust them. I know they can deliver. Likewise, client-wise, it's exactly the same. We've got some fantastic members in the family business practice, for instance. We've got some great people who support us in the family business practice this year. Steve Walker in Art Business Loans has supported a number of our events. Fantastic. Have been fantastic. Next year, FBC Manby Bowdler by Neil Lloyd will be supporting certainly our first 3 events of the year. FBC are a fantastic organisation, some great people inside it. Working with great people, working with good people makes a huge difference in your life. It means that you, depending whether they're supplying to you or you're supplying to them, their outlook's better. Their viewpoint is different. They're positive. They're upbeat. They're not negative. They're not half empty. Don't waste your life on people that are just draining you. We've all been there. It's not just me. We've all been there. Find people that are good to work with and stick with them. Even if it means there's less people, even if it's not quite where you want it to be, it's much better to work with, less good people than more bad people. That's my experience. So work with good people. The next time is spend time wisely. Spend time wisely. I think this year, particularly for many of us, we've been on a sojourn all over the place in terms of doing stuff. And I think if you go back over every year, you'll see that you wasted time in various places. And you know what? That is life and that's human. However, as you get older, you realize that time is one of your most precious commodities. And the one thing is, you can never get time back. It's gone. I'll click my fingers now. If you can show me how to get that time back, you're a better person than me, definitely. You'll be a better person than Einstein, for that matter, because once it's gone, it's gone. So, and when you're younger, of course, you don't appreciate it in the same way because you think, I've got loads of time left. I'm older. Alan, bless you. I'd like, perhaps it's fair to me to say that both of us are, the wrong side of an age, if you like, and you realize that time is precious. When you're working with business, time is precious. Time is precious to the clients because they've never got enough time, and you've never got enough time. That's the way it works. Anything you can do to spend your time wisely with your clients, they'll appreciate. So instead of having a 3-hour meeting, have a 90-minute meeting. Instead of insisting that it's got to be face-to-face, if it can work, do Zoom. All right. These days, people are far more relaxed about it. There are still some people who say the only way to do business is face-to-face. Bunk 'em. It's just not true. All right. I'm not saying you can create a relationship as easily on Zoom. That would be true. It's easy to create relationships face to face, but there are a lot of time wasting areas where, frankly, talking to people online works really, really well. After all, we're doing it right now. I know there's a bunch of family business practice members right now who are saying, I couldn't get to the last face-to-face meeting that we ran, but I'm really grateful for this working lunch. And although they're not actually logged online, they'll be watching this later because it's being recorded live, and it fits in with their time frame. So the whole idea of this is to look at the time and say to yourself, well, am I wasting my time? Am I wasting my client's time? Am I wasting my supplier's time? And that fits very nicely into the next one, which is family. Well, I would say that, wouldn't I? Say it every year. So I mean, it'd be wrong for me not to say it again this year. And that is, spend time with your family. Now, some of you, that's easier done than others. But what I would say is, whoever, and I say family in a broader sense, whoever is close to you, whoever you're close to, spend time, make time for them, because otherwise, what's it about? What's life about? Really? I mean, Saturday we were, as I mentioned to Alan before we came on air, we went to one of our grandchildren's Christmas do. It was a musical concert, first time that he was playing in it. He was only a little one, and it was great. It was lovely, and we spent some time together. We've been dead easy not to go, dead easy not to go, but we did. We took time to do it, and the same applies to, this time of year. Families, you don't need me to preach. If you've got kids, for what you're going to events all over the place. There's parties all over the place. There's all that sort of stuff going on, all the school stuff going on. But I promise you, when you're older, you'll look back and be glad that you did do it. Very glad. Now turn that into a business situation as well. How about spending some time with your broader family, those people that look after you, your suppliers, taking a few minutes out just to make a phone call to somebody and say, how you doing? How's it going? What are you doing? How's it going for Christmas? Just spending a few times time doing that just shows you care, and also it shows that you're interested, not just interesting. You're interested in those that support you and look after you. So family, another one, very simple. What we got next? Well, what we got next is, do us a favor, will you? Smile. There are an awful lot of people that are walking around currently who are a bit tired, a bit fed up. I get it. I do really. I get it. And, I can't say that I'm smiling all the time, because I'm not. But I do know, and it's something I learned an awful long time ago, that people don't want to meet somebody who's whinging, whining, moaning, and groaning. A BMW, somebody that bitches about people, that moans, that whines. It's not what we want. So when you're going to see a client, or you're on Zoom with a client and they say, how are you? Be careful, right? Don't tell them how you feel, even if it is absolutely lousy. Don't tell them. Don't tell them. Tell them that life's all right, that life's good. Don't forget, you hear people use code words, when you go to a face-to-face networking meeting, you'll say, how you doing? And they'll say, it's interesting times. That's code for it's rubbish right in their life right now. Now, you may ask, because you are being empathetic, that it's clear there's something not right, and you may decide to ask, and it depends on your relationship with them. Sometimes you'll find out that this is the opportunity, the golden opportunity, for somebody to just offload on you, because that's what they do to everybody. They're not the sort of people you want to spend your life with, are they? But there are others, genuinely, who you like, you trust. You can see they're having a bit of a challenge, a bit of a hard time, and a listening ear is usually a very good thing to do. One, because it's the right thing to do, and secondly, you never know where it might lead. You might just find out that you can help somebody. And quite often I found that to be the case. I many years ago was dealing with an organization where I decided it was my life's work, my life's ambition, to cheer somebody up. And every time I saw them, I would smile and say that, life's good. And over a period of time, I got them to feel happier about life. Because they had a good life. It's just they were looking at it from the wrong perspective, really, which was, do you know what? You're breathing, yeah, all right, it was raining yesterday, but it's not too bad out today. We're British, so we're obsessed by the weather. Doesn't matter. The thing is, there's a lot that we can be grateful for, and Christmas, of course, reminds us all about that, doesn't it? Doesn't it always remind us that Christmas, about the good cheer and good spirit? Do yourself a favor and take that forward for the whole of 2024. Don't just think it's I'll watch a Christmas film. We're all good cheer. Come back to January. Let's moan and groan. All right. I can think of a business I know right now that come January the 2nd, when they go back to work, the person that runs it will be complaining, moaning, and whining, and they don't get why people don't want to do business with them. So smile, not a forced smile, but smile. Remember what be grateful for what you've got, and take that smile to your clients, to your prospects. Sure, when life's a bit challenging, discuss it, but at the end of the day, do this, smile. Lighten your smile, lighten your face won't break, I promise you. All right, it's a smile. It make a big difference, because don't forget, in the big wide world, if you're stupid enough to watch the news all day, every day, by the end of the day, you will think that you might as well quit life completely, because all they want to do is criticize, complain, condemn. That doesn't work in business. What you want to do is help people and enjoy people's company and do a good job. So in that case, find people who smile. That's that. Just to let you know, with that in mind, by the way. So that's the 5. So if I just flick back a second before I do that. All right, have clarity. Be clear what it is you want to achieve in 2024. Work with good people, right? Don't work with people that you just don't want to spend any time with. Spend more time more wisely. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily go on immediately on a time management course. What I mean is just think about where you spend your time. Part of that is, if you've got family, is spending time with family. All right, because we can all get wrapped up with it. And smile. Those are the 5 for me for next year that I will remind myself, hopefully regularly, that we will be working on, individually and collectively. The family business practice, just so people know, is entering its 10th year in 2024. 9 years operational, but 10 years including the mad idea that I had 10 years ago. And we are continuing, exactly the way that we finished this year, which was we'll have 10 meetings in 2024. That's 10 face-to-face meetings. The first 3, we just looks like we're agreeing where they'll be. They'll be based in Redditch, the first 3. The 4th one, not sure yet where that will be. Will also be in Worcester and certainly other parts of Worcestershire, and 1 or 2 other places as well. So I'm hopeful. I'm waiting to hear back from a couple of people, but certainly the first 4 events are sponsored. And what that means is that they're free to attend. They're free to attend for the sponsors, guests, and for family business practice members. They will remain as they have been, which is small in number. In other words, we have a absolute maximum of 20 people, which includes 2 people from ourselves and 2 from our sponsors. So, and then our sponsors are bringing some of their own clients and prospects and introducers. And what that means is that's a good cross section of people. It's a good cross section of people, of members and of guests as well. And that's what people wanted. That's what people enjoyed during 2023. We're not doing the bigger events like we used to do. People want to learn from each other and create better, stronger relationships. So, we don't do the 60-second thing, as everybody knows. There are 3 20-minute one-to-ones at each of those events. So some nice grub, some informal chatting, a couple of quick presentations, and 3 20-minute one-to-ones. So still the same combination that we've always done with the family business practice from year 1. And we'll stay West Midlands geographically. And we'll move it around a little bit. So I think, and again, we've kept the membership fee exactly the same fee as we have done that for the last 4 or 5 years. It really ought to have doubled by now, but we're keeping it just 197 quid a year. So if all the events are sponsored, you're not even paying for the events. So why wouldn't you attend them? So they're there. And as far as live stream's concerned, from mid-January, we're going to go to weekly. And what I'm going to be doing with that is interviewing people. Sometimes it'll be me. Sometimes I'll be interviewing people from the family business practice, and sometimes I'll be interviewing guests as well. And we'll be putting that out live stream across the 3 platforms. We're thinking about putting it across more platforms. We'll see, but we're certainly putting it across these 3. We're happy to do that, which will mean more noise for our members, more noise for the individuals concerned as and when we interview them. So that's it. That's what we're about for 2024. That's what I feel we should be for 2024. I think we need to have clarity. We need to have focus. I think we need to spend time with our family. We need to spend a lot less time, preferably no time, with people who waste our life. In other words, don't work with people you don't want to work with. I think be measured in your own time frame, and whatever you do, if nothing else, just give it a smile. Give it a smile. I'm excited about all we're doing here. In January, I'll be launching. Let me just free that up in a second. That's there. In January, I'll be launching some stuff of my own personally. I can give a prequel to that. There'll be a brand new Peter Roper website. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we're doing. There are 3 programs that we're bringing out, which are all going to be CPD, continued professional development programs that are approved in reputation, in speaking, and one other, which I'm going to come back to you on, but I'm pretty sure that's going to happen as well. I'm 98% sure we'll have 3 programs that we're running with that. And while I think about it, just if I can just put these up for a second. If you want to know more about one of our next speaking webinars, I'm hedging there while I find the slide. You could tell, Alan, couldn't you? Here's the slide. We're running another webinar this Thursday with Anna Simpson. Anna's background's phenomenal. She's from born in poverty in Ukraine to a dream of America to treading stages in America with some of the very, very well-known high-flying American speakers. Now lives in Worcestershire with a husband. And we're running a free 60-minute webinar this Thursday, as we did last week. And one of the things we will be doing next year is a whole load of free webinars. So if you miss one, although they'll be recorded, you'll get the chance to come on and listen to some ideas, some tips, and techniques of how to speak confidently in business, using strategies that use connection and curiosity and ethically. We are very, very strong on being ethical in the way that you stand up and speak and present. And yes, of course, we're going to be promoting a program we're running in February to that degree. And again, ethically, we'll let you know about the sale process of that. And if you want to know more about it, if I just do this, there's a QR code. And I'll hold that up on there for a few seconds. And you're very welcome. Join us for free on Thursday at 10:30. We'll run a 60-minute webinar. It went down very, very well last week. There's an awful lot of people couldn't make it. And so we said, right, we'll run another one on Thursday. And we'll be running more in the new year. So that's what that's about. So we'll just free that back off again. I'll leave that back up there as well. Nearly at the end of this recording, but Alan, I'll bring you back in if I may. I'm just unmuting you there. For you, one of the 5 that I've been mentioning, what's the one that struck home with you?
Oh, clarity. They're all important. They're all important. I agree with you, and especially working with good people. We all have our experiences of they're not so good, and but clarity, I think, is something that I'm working on in terms of, because I'm very enthusiastic about many things, but I'm focusing on my A3 coaching, and that's where I'm gonna stick.
Yeah, I think it's the key, isn't it? Really, I mean, if I go back to August and I went on holiday and spent a couple of weeks with our son and the family in America, and it gave me time to unwind because I was tired. I was very tired. And it gave me a chance to start thinking about, what the next chapter was, what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it. Did I want to continue running the family business practice? And the answer is yes, I do. But I wanted to run it in a way that I was more time efficient with it, and also that it worked in a way that served everybody, and which is why we've come at what we've done in terms of the events and the sponsorship process behind it, etc. And then I said, well, what else did I want to do? And I said, well, really, I want to work on the areas that I love working with, really. And so we started putting things into place to do that. Speaking and presenting will always be a first love for me to help people to do that. So that, obviously, we'd launched the Reputation Gap book during the course of the year as well, and the whole area of reputation made total sense to me. So that's why I have clarity now. Then all of a sudden you think, oh my God, that means new websites, new landing pages, all the stuff that go with it. But we're plowing our way through that steadily, and so by January we'll be away with that, and then we can just get on with telling people about it, and we're going to go through the CPD process. So, we're going to have a nice CPD badge. I don't think I haven't got it here yet to stick up, but we're going through that process, which is thorough, and we have to qualify for it and to be successful with it. But I think it's worthwhile. So once we'd got that clarity, we said, well, okay, this is what 2024 is going to be. So all of a sudden, there's a lot of work, but at least you've got clarity of knowing what we're doing. And also in terms of who I wanted to work with, who we wanted to work with, how we wanted to work with organizations. Family, everybody knows family is key to me. So working out how that would work, which is what we've been doing as well. So does that mean we've got everything, all the ducks lined up in a row? No, of course we haven't. But we're a lot farther on than we were. And at least when we're in the bonkers time, which is called January, and January, the first few days is quiet, then it goes nuts, as it always does, and then early Easter this year for 2024, so it'll be different again. And then all of a sudden you kick into May, and all of a sudden it changes and stuff. So yeah, you have to keep focused on what, where, when, why, and how. So to me, right now, yes, we've got clarity, and I think people listening to this, interesting. I've seen a few comments coming up here about yeah, absolutely, they're working on it right now. Clarity, focus, and understanding what it is they really want to achieve. There's another one, money. Yeah, fair enough. We all are looking for that, and you rate it with oxygen when you haven't got it. Interestingly, by the way, everybody should know that the man that says fill the fridge. Guess what we bought a couple of weeks ago? A new fridge. How exciting is that? I think that's probably a speech in January. I think I had to buy a new fridge. It's having clarity is the thing for me, and then everything else patterns out with it. So we're nearly at the end of a 30-minute thing. I think we'll wrap it there. Alan and I will have a quick chat afterwards, as we normally do, as some of the business practice members. All I would say is, if I put this back onto there, the one slide I didn't put up was that. Obviously, have a wonderful Christmas. Whatever the heck that you're doing, have a great time. You're getting time to spend some time with family. Take a bit of time out and just enjoy yourselves a bit. Having said that, I know between Christmas and New Year, we'll be in the office doing the annual tidying up, which Annie always loves us to do. And, we kind of all look at each other going, oh, no, not again. We're doing it already, but it's important. But everybody, have a lovely Christmas. Enjoy yourselves. And we'll see you mid-January for the next working lunch and podcast. And Alan, thanks for attending. Stay with us.
Thank you.
I'll just say goodbye to everybody. So thanks very much. It's good to see you, and we'll see you again after the Christmas New Year break.